The last real... What is... Let's look at the archives real quick. I haven't seen it. Excited to see. Oh, we'll definitely jump into it, I think. Oh, nice. It does like Infliction did. Hell yeah, I like a museum. Nice. So, welcome to the archives. Bendy in the Ink Machine began when the developer slash cartoonist known as the Meatley experimented with bringing a sketched 2D style into the 3D world. After turning the idea into a horror game, Chapter 1 of the game was created in a little under a week, Jesus, with programmer friend Mike Mood, and released on February 10th. They made this game in a fucking week? No. No. Just Chapter 1. Isn't this just Chapter 1, though? Like, I feel like this is more than Chapter 1. Let's see. On the 10th of 2017, which, to their surprise, it struck a chord with global indie gamers almost overnight. The Meatley and Mike Mood decided to drop all other projects and work on Bendy and tell a most unique Ink story. The entire game, was completed a chapter at a time in a year and a half by a small but dedicated group of indie developers. Although the concept and story remained the originally intended, the game changed over development as the characters and models were redefined from their early thrown together versions. The archive is a peek behind the scenes of that process. Nice. Okay. Oh, and that's a good point. You're right. I did play 5 chapters. That's a very good point. But still, to build one of those chapters in a week, that's still pretty impressive. We did finish Oberdin. We got 100%. We finished the entire thing. We just finished Bendy in the Ink Machine. So we're now checking this out, too. I like when games do museums. This is a really nice thing. I think all games should be required to do this. The hell are these? Concept Bendy. Oh, he opens his mouth that way. That's weird. I don't like that. Welcome to Jote. Let's see. This is the first version of Bendy ever modeled. In the earliest concepts, Bendy was much smaller and cuter with a face that split open to reveal a terrifying mouth. It looks sort of like it's got drool, too. Like a little bit of drool. Let's see. Alpha Bendy. And that's the version that chased us. This is the original game used design of Ink Bendy from the earliest version of Chapter 1. It is jokingly referred to as bird poop with a smile among the development team. I can see that. This one's more close. Beta Bendy. This was the Inky Bendy's form until the release of Chapter 4. At that time, the game received a major visual upgrade, and the title character got a new model as well. That one's still pretty good, though. Like, I like that one. And here's Ink Bendy, where he's got the ink kind of like running all over him. Ink Bendy, as we know him today, although similar to Beta Bendy, this upgrade version was remodeled, enhanced with a higher polygon count, and given new ink effects. Yeah, and those ink effects kind of play a mess on the machine, quite honestly. And here's the one that kind of charged me with the tiny little legs. Beast Bendy. Ink Bendy's horrific final form in Chapter 5 pulled away from the cartoon facade and revealed the demon within. The demon within is mainly in the teeth. Everything else is just kind of like meh to me. I don't love this design. I think he needed more Dutch oven. I mean, if the dog knew what he was doing, we're going to give him the credit. There's Sam Lawrence, there's Pipers, Strikers, and Fisher. Oh, that's supposed to be a Fisher. I never even saw the fish. That makes sense. Erie's dog's being a shit. No, Erie's dog is taking a shit. They only eat protein and fiber. That's completely fair. That is completely fair. That would explain why they're so bad. Let's see. Beta Searchers. Early in development with just a few weeks to create Chapter 2, the Beta Searchers were designed in record time before being fully retooled later on. They were the first fighting enemies encountered in the game. New version is a little bigger. Final Searcher. The Final Searchers were far more robust in appearance. They were smoother with better ink effects and more human appearance. I think it's really just the height that makes them the like more human appearance. Here's Sam. Beta and like normal Sammy are basically just muscles. Beta Sammy. was his first appearance in Chapter 2, or with his first appearance in Chapter 2, fan favorite Sammy Lawrence became a terrifyingly entertaining character. When his slim build was deemed not threatening enough, he was redesigned and given a better skeletal rig for more advanced animations. Final Sammy Lawrence final form came complete with a bulked up stature and more powerful limbs. The mad songwriter may finally get noticed now, at least by fans. Yeah, I think I like the new state of him better than the old state. Like, the old state's just too smooth and far too close to, like, Bendy's other early forms. I feel like it's just kind of cheating. Oh, there's the sad guys. I'm sorry, dude. Alright, and there's Angel. There's Thomas. Here's Boris. Ooh, Beta Boris is... I do not like Beta Boris. Beta Boris looks awful. Let's see. Beta Boris. Papa was the original name of the character that eventually became Boris the Wolf. This early version was released with Chapter 1. He was quickly refined into the Boris we know today with the versions of Chapter 2. The release of Chapter 2. So this is the one we know. And he feels very, like, Pluto Goofy-esque. Boris the Wolf, A Friend to the End, was designed using various references from cartoons of the 1920s. A blend of West Coast and East Coast animation styles, this silent and supportive wolf won over the hearts of many, although at times he was a headache for the development team due to his AI taking on a mind of its own during production. That's interesting, I wonder why. Let's see, Brute Boris. Alice Angel's monstrosity, Brute Boris, was one of the biggest surprises of Chapter 4. His design was roughly based on the Frankenstein monster, but with a more unfinished appearance. Alice took parts from within him and substituted things that his body is rapidly rejecting. Okay, so that's kind of why things kind of keep spitting out of him at points. That makes sense. We saw this one in Chapter 1, I think. Original ink machine. Before a major visual upgrade, this version of the ink machine was the one used in the game. Much of this machine's iconic fan-loved design was translated into the final version. Oh, okay, so it may not be the one we've seen, it's just the one that, like, inspired the full use of the other. I get you. Oh, there's the boss head that was in the carousel. The Butcher Gang. The Piper, Striker, and Fisher make up the dreaded Butcher Gang. Interestingly, the ink-corrupted versions of the characters were designed first and then were reverse engineered back into their more family-friendly cartoon forms. These are family-friendly? Sure, I'll trust you on that. Nice. I like the designs. Like, the designs are really good. The bendy hand, I don't know if I ever needed, but still, it added to it. It was a cool part. I think Alice's design and... like, Bendy's final inky design are probably my favorites. Like, I think this is pretty cool. Kind of wish we had more interaction with them, genuinely. Henry Stein. Once an equal business partner of Joey Drew, Henry Stein was a talented animator and a character designer until leaving the company around 1930. His place in Joey Drew's studio history is somewhat undocumented, but he is often rumored to be the true creator behind many of the studio's most memorable characters. And I like the fact that this is us and we don't have a character. Like, do I just stand here? Like, what happens if I just stand on the pedestal? Oh, I got an achievement. I got the achievement Standing Proud. Nice. All right, so we're part of the museum now.